from Yerushalayim, we have completed the various blessings given to the Kahal, the BeSibbur, following the completion of the reading of the Sefer Torah. We're ready to begin Musaf. As I said, it's generally the Hacham who comes to give these berachot, the BeSibbur, to the Kahal, or Rosh Chodesh, whatnot. And now it's time for Musaf. I'm on page 293 in the Kol Yaakov if you wish to follow. The overview is the Hazan comes up, Yehazdecha, Ashre, Baruch Adonai Shatam Roha, Imloch, Mizmor David, take back while we take back the Sefer, Shuba Limonach, Kaddish, Amidah. Now into more detail. The Hazan, generally the Hazan begins with the Yehazdecha, the one who's invited to say Musaf. I have seen on occasion where the one who's at the Teba, whether it be the Hacham or Hazan who said the BeSibbur, will continue Yehazdecha and Ashre, and then the Hazan will begin in Shuba Limonach. But in Brooklyn, the prevailing custom is when you say Chavod Musaf, he comes up and he begins with Yehazdecha. Now, which ma'am does he pray? Which scale, liturgical scale, does he use? Here is a couple of opinions. The prevailing custom, at least in the last 30, 40 years from my recollection, is that you will sing Musaf in the same scale as the following Shabbat's ma'am, the following scale of the following Shabbat scale. So for instance, if let's say Vayigash is Bayat, and Vayihi is the next parasha is Hijaz, so you will say Musaf and Hijaz. That's the general custom. There are, however, other opinions. One is, and Joey Mosseri was kind enough to share with me the notes of our esteemed Hazan from the early part of the 20th century, Hacham Moshe Ash'ar, who has kept meticulous notes as to which scales he used and what tunes he used. And we see very interestingly, he didn't follow this rule. He would say Musaf in different ma'amat without any connection to what's going to be said the following Shabbat. So that's opinion number two. Finally, there's an interesting conversation that Joey Mosseri had with our famous Hazan, Alav Shalom Motawil, and he told Joey, he said, look, if the Shabbat is Bayat, I want Shaharit Bayat, I want Musaf Bayat, I want to leave the Knis with that feeling for that Shabbat. So while that is rare to see, it's rare to find that a Hazan will pray the same makam as Shaharit, this was his opinion, and it's an important opinion. So you have three opinions. Again, the prevailing custom is to say the Musaf with next week's ma'am. So you'll say Yehazdecha, Baruch Hashem Zamaroha, and he gets to Yimloch. Yimloch, the Kahal will stand up because we're going to take back the Sefer. When do we begin taking back the Sefer? Well, it depends. Generally, when the Kahal sings Mizmor David, after they recite the Yimloch twice, where the Sefer is on the Teba, and then Mizmor David, they will start taking it back. In the event where the Knis is very large and takes a long time, you will find very often that they will begin Yimloch, they will start taking the Sefer Torah back to the Hechal. Now Yimloch, unlike other communities, unlike the Egyptians or the Yerushalayim, certainly, we sing together both times the Yimloch without having it sung and repeated. In other words, in Yerushalayim especially, they'll have children come up. They will say Yimloch, the Kahal will answer. They will say the second time, the Kahal will answer. That's not the custom of the Syrian community. We all sing it together twice, and we have a couple of basic tunes that we use. Yimloch Adonai Le'olam, a very famous tune, and one which is unique to I think the New York community is Yimloch Adonai Le'olam Elohai Yisrael. Now, I haven't heard that outside a community ever, certainly not in Yerushalayim. Maybe it spread to Panama, Mexico by now, but it seemed that may have been an American tune that was adapted to the Yimloch. Of course, in Yerushalayim we sing a different tune. That's the basic tune in Yerushalayim. Following that, we have Mizmor David, we should all sing together. The Sefer Torah, as I mentioned in our video for Shaharit of the weekdays, Sefer Torah, our custom was to bring it back while it is open to the Kahal. We do the reverse direction as when we brought it out. We bring it out to the right, and we go back, all right, the other side of the knis. So it makes sense, especially in a big knis where you're showing the Sefer Torah on one side, you're putting it on the Hechal. Then you're going to the other side, you're showing it to the Hechal. I know in many synagogues they've changed the custom, maybe based on a Ben Ish Chai, but our custom was always to return it open. Another point in the Yimloch, we don't have a Jilyan, what's called, what we call Jilyan, just carrying the Sefer. But by the Egyptians, or even in Yerushalayim, while they're saying Yimloch, the one who's carrying the Sefer will hold it up to Kahal and turn it around, and then they'll set it down, and then they'll take it back from Mizmor David. We don't have that custom. We don't have the custom, as we mentioned, when we took out the Sefer, and we will bring it back. That's not the custom, although other communities indeed do have that custom. We will continue next week with the Musaf prayer. Shalom u'bracha.